Hey people, it's Siberius, and in this video we're going to be doing Wreath, which is a network of 3 machines on TryHackMe. Before we start, there are a few things that I would like you to know. First, I'm not going to be explaining everything because as you can see we have a lot to do and it's going to make the video a lot longer. Second, I'm just going to go over the steps necessary to compromise this network, thus skipping over the command and control section, which is basically an introduction to C2 frameworks, specifically speaking, Empire and its GUI Starkiller. With that being said, make sure you're connected to your network VPN, and we're going to go ahead and start off by running nmap on the first 15,000 ports on the first machine. So nmap-sv for version enumeration, sc default scripts, on for an output in the nmap directory called 15,000 ports, 10.200, in my case, .80.200. I have already ran this scan and we can go through the results. As you can see, we have SSH open, HTTP, which is redirecting us to Wreath.thm. By the way, you need to add that to your Etsy hosts. As you can see, I've already done it here. The backend OS is centos 443 for HTTP or HTTPS SSL 10,000, which is running Webmin version 1.8. Let's go ahead and take a look at Wreath.thm or port 80. Actually 443, my bad. Nothing important here. We can go ahead and take a look at support 10,000. Log into Webmin. Go ahead and use the default creds of admin. Doesn't give us anything, so what we're going to do is go ahead and copy this whole version of Webmin. Look up Google for public exploits, if I can type. Doesn't matter. Webmin version, the exact version we're dealing with. Exploit unauthorized RCE. Interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at what this CVE is. Again, if I can type, click on the first link, NVD. An issue was discovered in Webmin before this version. The parameter old in password change.cgi contains a command injection vulnerability. Okay, so let's go ahead and look for proof of concepts on GitHub. Scroll down a bit, Moorland Oracle, if I'm not butchering the name, the creator of the network. By the way, if I am, please forgive me. Go ahead and copy the repository link. We can do something like git clone to clone the repository. As you can see, I've already done it. So cv into the directory, run the script with --help. All we have to do is pass the target IP address. Let's go ahead and do that, 10.200.80.200. Successfully vulnerable, and as you can see we have a shell. If you go ahead and run id and just like that we have the root user. Not that I'm complaining. Anyways, type shell to obtain a full reverse shell. Let's go ahead and call the shell function, which is implemented into the script itself, and cnvlp to set up a listener on not 1324, 1234. Copy our IP address, which I have right here in my notes, 1234, and obtain a reverse shell. Now, since this is a network, what could be really useful for us is either SSH credentials or SSH private keys, IDRSAs, because we could use them to pivot. Fortunately for us, root has one in his .ssh directory. If we go ahead and cat it out, copy the whole thing and come back to our box, cd back, nano ID RSA, copy the whole thing, chmod 600, so SSH won't yell at us, SSH-I, you know the rest, .200. What we're gonna do now is go ahead and enumerate the box to look for other live hosts that this machine can talk to, because again, this is a network. To do that, we're gonna be using static binaries, nmap is static binary to be exact. Go ahead and cd into my tools directory, which I have a static nmap, socat, extractor, and chisel for both Windows and Linux in. Start our Python HTTP server, so Python 34, yeah. Python 3-m http.server. Go ahead and do that. cd into temp, Siberius, which I have already created. Use curl, because I don't think we have wget installed. No, we don't, so curl, our IP address. Copy it from my notes, 8000 static nmap, nmap, go ahead and do that. If I can type, that is, call it nmap. Okay, nmap is here. Go ahead and chmod +x, execute permissions, see if it works. and it does, go ahead and run nmap-sn for host discovery. Not going to be scanning ports 10.200.80.0.255. The scan is finished, and as you can see, we have 4 hosts: 100, 150, 250, and 200, which is the same Linux or CentOS box that we're on right now. We're not going to be bothering with this. This one is out of scope, so we have 150 and 100. Again, what we're going to do is go ahead and run nmap to actually look for open ports on these hosts. 10.200.80, actually 80.100 and 10.200.80.150. It's going to take some time. I'm going to get back to you once it's finished. The scan is finished. As you can see, for this host, we have all these ports open: HTTP, RDP, WinRM, or Windows Remote Management. When I was first initially doing the box, I had SMP open as well. So if you see that, it's probably normal. Anyways, moving on. For this other host though, all the scan ports are filtered, which could indicate that we cannot reach it from this CentOS box. Now, for us to be able to reach these ports from our machine, because obviously we cannot right now, we're going to be routing our traffic through this CentOS machine because this one can. Basically, we're going to be pivoting. Now, I'm going to be using shuttle or S-shuttle because that's what's recommended here. Let's go ahead and read about it. Uses an SSH connection to create a tunnel proxy that acts like a new interface. In short, it simulates a VPN, allowing us to route our traffic through the proxy without the use of Proxychains. And it's also encrypted. So let's go ahead and do that because we have the IDRSA for root. So S-shuttle -I for, actually -R root at 10.200.80.200. SSH CMD, basically telling it to use the IDRSA, so SSH-I IDRSA here. The subnet 10.200.83.024, and exclude the CentOS box 10.2, if I can type 200.80.200. The password, go ahead and SSH path. What am I doing wrong? Oh, okay, so SSH. Let's go ahead and actually run it in the background because now we provided the password. Let's go ahead and do that. Connected to server. Now we should be able to reach this host, this 150 host. If I can copy the IP address. Let's go ahead and see what port 80 is. As you can see, we are able to reach it, and it is git stack. Go ahead and change the, actually visit this directory here, git stack. Git stack sign in, interesting. Default username and password, admin, nothing happens. What we're gonna do now is go ahead and again look for public exploits. Search the exploit with the name of the service, which is git stack. We're going to be using this Python script, remote code execution. Go ahead and mirror or copy that here. I have already done it, I believe. No, I have not. Let's go ahead and do that. So search exploit -m mirror, if I can copy and paste, and use something like Sublime Text to modify a few things. First, we need to indicate if this script is written in Python 2 or Python 3. One way to do that is go ahead and take a look at this print function, which is not enclosed by parentheses, indicating that this is written in Python 2. So let's go ahead and add the Python 2 shebang here. So user Python 2, no, actually user bin, I'm sorry. So user bin Python 2, and move on. Obviously, we're going to be needing to change the IP address as well, so let's go ahead and do that. 10.200.80.150. The command whoami is okay. We're going to be needing to change the name of our exploit or payload as well, because it is a shared network and we don't want to mess with other people's payloads. So let's go ahead and name it to test123. The payload should be here as well, and by the way, as you can see, it is expecting a post request with A being set to our command. Exploit test123.php, the path to where the exploit gets stored is in web as well. That's good to note. Let's go ahead and save that and simply just run it. Okay, I don't know why this happens. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this shebang because for some reason it adds this thing at the end of my shebang, which I don't know why happens. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this, save it, and use something like Python 2 to run it because we know it's written in Python 2. Go ahead and do that. As you can see, the exploit was successful. The command whoami got executed on the backend machine, and we are anti-authority system, the highest user on a Windows machine. What we're gonna do now is go ahead and use this exploit to get ourselves a reverse shell. I'm gonna be firing up burp. Burp is ready. Let's go ahead and use something like curl to trigger this vulnerability. First, let's go ahead and check the path to our exploit. So web with the name of the exploit, which was exploit test 123.php. Go ahead and actually copy the path here. So curl --data to send a post request with a being set to our command whoami again, mi, with this path or URL. As you can see, the command again got executed. We're gonna go ahead and send this through burp with --insecure -x for a proxy on localhost port 8080 because that's what burp listens on. Insecure, everything looks good, and as you can see, it got intercepted. Let's go ahead and send that to repeater. Before we try to get ourselves a reverse shell, we're gonna determine if the box, the Windows box, is able to reach the outside world or us, the attacker. One way to do that is go ahead and ping ourselves and listen for incoming ping packets or icmp packets. We can use TCP dump or Wireshark. I'm going to be using TCP dump because it's a lot quicker for now. Interface /0, listen for icmp. It is listening. The command should be ping. 2 pings, let's go for that. 10.50 our IP address. I don't know what our IP address is. 8139. Let's go ahead and copy that. URL encode this payload or command and send. As you can see, unfortunately, the Windows machine cannot reach us because we didn't capture any icmp or ping packets, and the requests on the Windows machine got timed out. Now, if you go ahead and again send this to repeater, go ahead and try to ping the CentOS box, which is on 10.200.80.200. You can see that we are able to reach the CentOS box from the Windows machine. Now, what we're gonna do is go ahead and set up a relay on the CentOS box because obviously, as you can see here, this Windows machine can reach this CentOS box. We're gonna be setting up a relay here using SOCAT probably to capture the, to actually catch the reverse shell, and again from the CentOS box send it back to ourselves. Basically, what's gonna happen is we're gonna be sending a PowerShell reverse shell from here to the Windows machine. The Windows machine is gonna call back to the CentOS machine. The relay on the CentOS machine is gonna catch that and send it back to us because we can reach this one. Hopefully, I didn't make it confusing, and let's move on. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and cd into our tools directory, transfer SOCAT, which is probably gonna take some time. Python 3 -m http.server again, use curl, our IP address 8000, static SOCAT, output as SOCAT. SOCAT is here. Before we set up our relay, we need to make sure that it is the port that we are going to be choosing is not going to be blocked by firewall. So if I remember the syntax correctly, we're going to be opening this desired port. So zone of, if I can type, that is public add port with the port number. Let's go for 12123 and should be TCP. Okay, success. chmod plus x on SOCAT, which we just transferred. Let's see if it works. It does. Okay. Now let's set up our relay. To do that, SOCAT TCP listen on 112.123 TCP connect back to us. Let's go ahead and copy our attacker IP here. Let's go for quad 4. Start DL listener quad 4 and run in the background. Go ahead and do that. That should be working now. Let's go ahead and copy the where are we right now? I think we should be here. Yeah, let's go ahead and copy the PowerShell reverse shell here. Get back to our burp, change the command, modify the IP address to be the CentOS box, because again this Windows machine cannot reach us, but can reach this CentOS box. So 10.200.80.200 on port 12.123 that we specified. Go ahead and URL encode this. Now again, I'm going to be explaining what's going to happen is we're going to be sending this shell to the Windows machine. The Windows machine is going to call back to, as you can see, the CentOS box. This go ahead and run jobs. This socat relay is going to catch that again on this port and going to send it back to us, to this listener. Let's go ahead and send that, and as you can see, we get the shell back. Go ahead and run ID, which obviously doesn't work. So who am I? NT authority system, and let's move on. Now, this shell is very unstable. One way to stabilize it is that because we're NT authority system, we can straight up add our own users and add them to the administrator and remote management users. So we can use something like evil WinRM and x3rdp. Let's go ahead and add a user. So new net user with the name, let's go for admin123, password admin123. Go ahead and add him. Net local group with administrators. Go ahead and add him to administrators. Admin123, add again. Command successful. Net local group. This one is a bit tricky. I think remote management users. Admin123 add. Okay, that was successful. Now let's go ahead and try something like evil WinRM -u admin123 password at admin123 -i 10.200.88 80.150. Okay, it's taking its time. Okay, we're here. So that worked. We have a user, administrator, and in the remote management users, if I can type who am I here, apparently I can't. We're admin123. What we're gonna do is go ahead and transfer. We could use like transfer mimikatz to the box to dump the local SAM password hashes. We can use upload on evil WinRM or something like a shared drive using x3rdp. Let's go ahead and do that because that's what's covered here. So x3rdp -v for 10.200.80.150. What happened? So dash do it again, 10.200.80.150 dash user for admin123 dash password admin123 drive for the shared drive, which is going to be user share Windows resources because that's where mimikatz is. So Windows resources, I think resources or resource, and we're going to be calling it test123. Yes. Okay, we're here. Let's go ahead and close the server manager. Go into the network tab or folder, whatever you want to call it. Network discovery is off. Let's go ahead and turn that on. File sharing for upload. Okay, that worked. Test123, let's go ahead and cd into that. Not going to be cutting this part because that could happen to you as well. That's one way to fix it. Go ahead and fire up command prompt as administrator because we are already in the administrator group, and it is important to do that if you want to use mimikatz. If this finds it, apparently doesn't want to find it, so let's go ahead and cd into mimikatz, cmd, run as administrator, yes I'm sure, x64, please cd. Alright, let's go ahead and copy the full path here, paste it here, and mimikatz.exe. By the way, I just want to apologize if you see any sudden cuts in the middle of the video. It's just that it's like the 20th take on Wreath, and I'm really tired because it's almost 2 AM here. So again, apologize. We're gonna wait for mimikatz to load. Alright, let's go ahead and run privilege debug to give ourselves debug privileges. Okay, and token elevate to get system anti-authority system. So token if I can type, that is elevate anti-authority system, and simply run lsa dump sam. lsa dump sam. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and look for the administrator's hash here. Admin's hash is right here. We're gonna go ahead and copy it, get back to our box, create a new tab here, nano hash, go ahead and copy this for admin's hash, and we're gonna be needing Thomas's hash as well, which is right here. Go ahead and ntlm hash, go ahead and copy his ntlm hash. And again, get back to our box and copy it. We can use something like crack station to crack his hash, I believe. So crack station, crack the hash, please. And we have the hash, or the plain text password. Go ahead and copy it. Again, nano, like cracked. Go ahead and copy this. And okay, so now we have compromised both the first and the second machine. We're gonna go ahead and compromise the third one. We're gonna be assuming that this Windows machine can reach it. And we have two options here. You can go ahead and use C2 or command and control stuff, but I'm gonna be using evilwinrm to simply load a port scanner script into the Windows machine that we have access to. So let's go ahead and do that. evilwinrm, again, dash or forward dash slash, I'm sorry, v 10.200.80.150 user admin, or actually we have the administrator here. So let's go ahead and cat the hash, copy his hash. We can do something like pass the hash. So administrator here, administrator hash. Wait, it's not x3rdp. Why am I doing x3rdp syntax? I'm sorry. So evilwinrm dash u for administrator, dash h for the hash, dash I 10.200.80.150, dash s to load the script, which is a PowerShell port scanner. I have it in my Empire directory, which I put in opt. So Empire data module, situational awareness, I believe, situational awareness, and network. Just realized I didn't type administrator right, so traitor. Go ahead and do that again. Okay, we're here. If you go ahead and run something like invoke, I think port scan is the name of the script, port scan.ps1. Seems like it's working. Looks like it worked. Let's go ahead and try to run it. So invoke port scan on hosts, which is going to be 10.200.80.100, the third machine. And let's go ahead and scan the top 50 ports as suggested. So ports, top ports 50. The scan has returned, and as you can see, we have 80 and 3389 or RDP and HTTP open. Now we're going to be needing to reach these ports, which again, obviously we cannot reach it from this Linux machine, and not obviously again from our machine, our attacker machine. So what we're going to do is go ahead and pivot again. To do that, we can use something like evolve_in_rm's upload functionality. So upload, where do I have my chisel? I think desktop, THM, Wreath, tools, and what is the name for that? Go ahead and cd, it's actually here, chisel, Windows AMD 64.exe. Where are we right now? Administrators documents. I think that's all right. Okay, seems like it's working. I'm gonna get back to you once it's uploaded to the box. Chisel is finally here. What we're gonna be doing is referring to the tasks here. I believe we should be pivoting here. And yes, we're gonna be using chisel forward proxy as suggested. To do that, let's go ahead and run dir. Chisel is right here. Go ahead and do so chisel, a forward proxy, basically creating the server on the compromised box. So server -v port. Actually, before we do that, I believe again we should make sure that the port is open. Yes, as you can see, I'm just gonna go ahead and copy the syntax for it, making sure the port is open. So let's go for 13.123 TCP, a rule, a new rule. Name should be something like whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to go ahead and do test 1, 2, 3, add rule. Everything looks fine. Go ahead and do that. Okay. Now again, running chisel, a forward proxy, so we can reach this third box from our attacker box. So chisel, server, if I remember the syntax, port should be the port that we just opened. So 13.123. Sucks, if I can type, sucks 5, go ahead and do that. Alright, listening on this port, let's go ahead and create a new tab here and try to connect to it from our attacker box. Not temp, cd tools here, run chisel, client should be connecting to 10.200.80.100. The port 13.123 and the local port could be anything. I'm just gonna go for 9050 and sucks. Just realized that is not the correct IP because we can the whole point of this pivoting is being able to reach this third machine. We can't do that right now. We're gonna be doing 150. That's the correct syntax. As you can see, we're connected. The latency is not gonna mention. Okay, so now we should be able to reach this third machine, which is on 10.200.80.100. Before we go ahead and do that, you need to add a proxy. Obviously here I'm using Foxy Proxy. You can go ahead and use whatever you want. Proxy type SOCKS5, localhost, and the port that you specified. Go ahead and do that. Again, 10.200.80.100. We should be able to reach it with the proxy being on. And as you can see, it looks like it's loading. Yes, everything looks fine and works completely okay. Now, if you wanted to run any of the tools from your command line or your bash terminal, you're gonna have to use Proxychains. Let's go ahead and copy the Proxychains conf from etsy.proxychains.conf here. Because Proxychains first looks in the current working directory for a configuration, then goes back to another place, and then goes back to into etc. Directory. Don't remember very exactly, but we're going to be modifying a few things in this proxy configuration file. Actually, all we have to do is go ahead and change the SOCKS5 to be SOCKS4 to be SOCKS5, and the port is correct. Go ahead and save that. If we go ahead and run curl 10.200.80.100, we shouldn't be able to reach it because obviously we're not using Proxychains. If we go ahead and use Proxychains now, it's gonna be picking up this proxychains.conf in this directory. Okay, and should be able to reach it. Yes, as you can see, it was able to reach it through the Proxychains. Alright, for this few other tasks left, I'm going to be actually referring to the actual tasks of the room a lot, so please bear with me. Wonders of Git. It appears to be a carbon copy of the website, talking about this one, the third machine. Any differences isn't going to be immediately visible, blah, blah, blah. What we're going to be doing is go ahead and look for something called website.git on the second machine, on the Git server 150 machine. You can go ahead and do that. I have already found it here. Let's actually use evolve-winrm to connect back. evolve-winrm-u admin123, password admin123, and I for 10.200.80.150. Again, the second machine, the Git server. Go ahead and cd into the directory. Git stack repositories website.git. Go ahead and run dir or ls. Everything is here. We're going to go ahead and use the download functionality and download this directory. It's going to take a long time. I'm going to get back to you once I've finished. Okay, I have transferred the website.git directory on my attacker machine. We're going to go ahead and cd into it. There should be something funky in here that you're going to have to rename to .git in order for a tool like extractor.sh to work. Again, I'm not going to be explaining everything in depth here because, as I said, I don't want to make the video a lot longer than what it already is. You can go ahead and refer to these tasks, which explain everything very good and in details. So let's go ahead and run extractor to extract this git.git directory. So get back here, extractor, what am I doing? Extractor, this website.git here and call it website. Go ahead and do that. cd into the website directory. Again, not going to make the video a lot longer than what it already is. This is what we want to work with. So let's go ahead and cd into it. cd into resources. There should be a index.php here. Let's go ahead and cat it out. Go ahead and read through the code. We're here right now. As you can see, everything is explained in detail. So go ahead and refer to them. Analyzing the code, we can basically, this is a upload functionality on the third machine. This one, okay, obviously in the resources directory, which we can abuse because it has two filters. First, it's going to be checking for extensions, which we can easily bypass by adding two extensions. The third one is a little bit harder. Get image size, which is the description or explanation is here. Let's go ahead and read it. The first line here uses a classic PHP technique used to see if a file is an image. In short, images have their dimensions encoded in their exif data. The getImageSize method returns the 3 dimensions if the file is genuinely an image, or the boolean value false if the file is not image. So we have to upload a genuine image. I'm going to go ahead and find a legitimate image, transfer it here, and get back to you. I've gone ahead and downloaded a legitimate picture. If we go ahead and run xtgopen puppy, just to make sure, you can see that it is a normal JPEG file of a real cute puppy. Now, since we have the source code for the upload functionality on the third machine, this one obviously, we can go ahead and read through it again. So resources, index.php, not gonna make the video long. Basically, there are two filters here, one for which actually checks the extensions, which again can be easily bypassed by adding a second extension to our picture. The other one being the getImageSize method, which makes sure that the uploaded file is an image, which again we can bypass by using something called exif tool, which is going to add a comment to our picture, the comment being a PHP code that's going to get executed. So let's go ahead and change our picture. Change the name first, so puppy.jpg to be puppy.jpg.php to bypass the first filter. The second one, I'm just going to go ahead and copy the syntax for it. Go ahead and read through all this. Basically, the PHP code is going to get obfuscated in this site and come out something like this. The PHP code is this one. We're going to be sending a GET request with the parameter Wreath set to our command, which is going to get executed on the backend machine. Again, if you go ahead and copy this, come to this site here, paste it, obfuscate it, it's going to come out like this. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this whole thing, which is using exif tools, adding a comment here, the comment being this, payload obviously, to the image. So let's go ahead and do that. Puppy.jpg. Update it. If you go ahead and run exif tool on the image, just to make sure, you can see that it is added right here. Now all we have to do is go ahead and upload it. So get to resources. That's not resources, so resources here. It's going to be asking for authentication, which if we go ahead and take a look at one of these tasks, I believe, not this one, here, we can assume that the username here is probably either Thomas or TRith, both of which we have already seen. We also already have one of Thomas's passwords stolen from the Git server. Yes, talking about this one right here, the one that we got from Mimikatz on the second machine using X3 RDP here. This one, let's go ahead and just close that. Copy the password. The username is either Thomas or TRith, assuming again. Let's go ahead and resources. I can't type, so let's go for Thomas with this password. Looks like we're authenticated. By the way, I apologize for any sudden cuts in the middle of the video, because again, it's like the 20th take on Wreath and I'm really tired, so I apologize. If we go ahead and upload our picture, our payload, I've already done it, so it's gonna say the file already exists. Go ahead and into the uploads directory, which again we can find it in the source code. So uploads with the name of the image, which is poppy.jpg.php. Our payload is right here. Go ahead and add the Wreath parameter being the command, so who am I? And as you can see, we are Thomas and we have remote code execution. What we're going to do now is go ahead and obtain a reverse shell on the third and the final machine. To do that, referring to the tasks, we're going to have to transfer our netcat binary. Obviously, we're going to need a different version because it's going to get picked up by the AV. Go ahead and clone this GitHub repository. I have it right here in my tools directory, nc64.exe. We're going to be hosting this, so if I can type, that is python 3-m http.server. Go ahead and see if curl is installed. It is, as you can see. And we're going to be transferring our nc64.exe binary to the Windows box. Curl http 10.50 the IP address with the port, the name of the binary or executable into temp called nctest123. Let's go ahead and do that. The request came through and it is transferred. All we have to do now is go ahead and use netcat to obtain a reverse shell. We have the syntax right here. Go ahead and copy it. Let's set up our listener to listen on 443. Obviously, gonna have to run it with sudo. Fat fingered it. Go ahead and run it, sudo listening, and copy the command PowerShell Windows temp nc. The name should be test123 because that's what we specified. The IP address is here, so let's go ahead and copy it, paste 443, and once you connect, execute command line. We're listening. We're gonna go ahead and send this payload and hopefully get a shell back. Yes, as you can see, we got the shell back and we are Thomas, if I can type. The network died on me, but moving on. We are obviously not Thomas, we are obviously Thomas, not anti-authority system, nor we are an admin, so what we're going to do is go ahead and escalate our privileges. The previous vector for this last box is the one that I explained on my enterprise room walkthrough video, which I have on my channel. You can go ahead and refer to that if you want a more in-depth explanation. I'm not going to be explaining much here. I'm just going to go ahead and abuse the vulnerability and escalate our privileges. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and come here, copy this command, which is basically going to be looking for the services running on the box, non-default ones, the ones that are not in this directory. As you can see, all the paths are enclosed by quotation marks, except for this one, and has spaces in them. In it, actually. So we're obviously going to be using this unquoted service path to escalate our privileges. To do that, let's go ahead and copy this service's name, run scqc to make sure that the service is being ran by anti-authority system. As you can see, it is. Service start name, local system. What we're gonna do now is go ahead and write a C# code. Yeah, a C# code, which I have already done it. You can go ahead and read through this task if you want. Explains everything, but basically what this is doing is using the netcat binary that we transferred to the box and calling back to us and giving us a reverse shell, but this time as the anti-authority system user. So we're gonna go ahead and write this code, come back here, use MCS to compile it and make it an executable for Windows, CS. As you can see, it's here. Now to transfer this, you can do whatever you want or however you want to do it. They showcase in packets SMB server, which basically opens up a SMB shares, a directory that you can access through the Windows machine. I'm just going to go ahead and use the curl command and the RC that we have here. So let's go ahead and host this file, python3-m http.server. And again, if I make any bloopers, please forgive me because I'm so tired right now. So going back, curl, we're going to be downloading wrapper.exe and putting it in the temp directory. Let's go ahead and do that. The request came through and I think it's done. Now what we're gonna do is go ahead and copy this exe file to be the system.exe that is gonna get executed instead of the real service right here. So we're gonna be doing this. Let me come here, put this system.exe. I should have changed the name, but I didn't, my bad. But what was the name? So wrapper.exe, gonna put it as system.exe here. So let's go ahead and copy this whole command. Get back to our shell. Do this. Temp wrapper.exe. Wait, did I not just do this? Let's go ahead and wrapper.exe. Wrap. Okay, I have of course I do. Let's just go ahead and copy this name here. Change this. Okay, everything should be fine now. Go ahead and copy the command again. Copy it, cannot find again. What am I doing wrong? Copy temp. Copy the system, cannot find the file specified. Maybe I was not able. Let's go ahead and change the name to be something else, like wrapper test 123. If I can type test123.exe. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see if the request came through. It did. And now let's go ahead and run this command again. Wrapper test123, if that's the correct name, that is. Please, for the love of God, work this time. Go ahead and copy the command here. Okay, turns out it doesn't want to work with me. I'm gonna figure out what I did wrong again and get back to you guys. Okay, turns out it's not putting it here. I don't know why. Let's just go ahead and use the in-packet thing that they showcase. I guess we're gonna have to, right? So enumeration, where was it? So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna have to run this from where the wrapper is actually present. It's right here. Go ahead and do that. Sudo python in-packet example server share smb share username user password admin123. Let's go ahead and do that. we're just gonna wait. Okay, looks like it's working. Let's go ahead and connect to it. So the IP is this one. Copy it. Share. Yep, looks fine. Oh no, the password is admin123. Let's go ahead and copy this. Get back to our shell. So let's use 10.85. Okay, the command completed successfully. That's good. Let's go ahead and copy it from our share, the wrapper.exe, to be in the temp directory. Hopefully this works this time. So tagger IP 10.50.81.39, wrapper.exe, wrapper username. Let's go for test123. What did I do? Copy this. Again, for the third time, I'm sorry for the bloopers, but what we're gonna do is go ahead and put it into a temp directory. Let's see if it came through. It did. Connecting share. Want to copy it. If you run dir, it should be, yep, it's right here. Now, what we're gonna do simply is actually copying this wrapper to be the service that is gonna get executed. So just simply run this. Obviously change the name here. So test123 here. Again, go ahead and copy this. Test that. Okay, everything looks good. All right, copied. Let's go ahead and stop the service. What was the name? Let me make sure everything is okay. Yep. So sc stop the service. Sc stop this. Okay, looks like it's stopped now. Go ahead and set up our listener. 336 probably needs sudo because that's what we specified here. As you can see, 81. Okay, the IP is correct. And let's go ahead and start the service, which is basically gonna be running this here. So sc start with the name of the service. Hopefully we get our shell back. Sc start service. What did I do wrong again? Nc test dot. Wait, did we have that? Please tell me nc test 123. Nc test. Okay, that looks okay. Did not respond. What are we doing wrong again? Let's run dir. Wait, shouldn't nc be here? Windows temp. Let me go ahead and cd here. Copy. Oh my god, sorry for the bloopers, guys. Dir. What? Oh my god, where is my... Okay, so looks like we're gonna have to transfer netcat again. We have the share open here, so tools, netcat should be, yep, it's here. So let's go ahead and copy this. Come here, copy wrapper.exe. Let's go ahead and change that to be nc.exe, and it's gonna be putting it here. Let's go ahead and copy this. NC Windows, everything looks good. Copy the command. Overwrite, yes, just do it. I guess it was there. The process cannot exit the file is being used by another process. Okay, so apparently our netcat is it is present on the box. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I might pause the video or I might not. So it's using this to call back to 10.50. Please tell me that is the right IP address. 8139 it is. So what's the problem here? SC starts with the service name. If this gets a lot longer than what it is already running, let's go ahead and stop it. SC start this. SC start, did that work? Okay, it worked. So we're gonna have to copy our wrapper.exe again, so let's just do that. Where was it? This one. Let's go ahead and do that. Do it again. Copy, files copied. SC stop the service name for the love of God. SC start. Yep, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm gonna pause the video and get back to you guys once I figure out what I'm doing wrong. Guys, you won't believe what happened. I can't even put into words how stupid this was, but I was not hitting Control S to save the script, so it would call back to the wrong IP address. Oh my god, that's why you don't record your videos at 4 in the morning. That's why you just don't do that. But anyways, so I was not saving the script, so it was calling back to the wrong IP address. So basically, I made this to, again, I compiled this to be an executable file with the correct IP address and the port you want. Transfer it using this SMB share here. As you can see, I've done it here. So copy this wrapper.exe to the path of this service at system.exe. File copied successfully. SC stop the service. Simply SC start the service and you get a shell back. If you go ahead and run who am I, we are anti-authority on the third system, as you can see. Oh my god, this was such a long process for me, at least. I don't know how long it's gonna be when I edit all the bloopers and the mistakes that I made in this process, but I was recording for more than 10 hours, I think, because I made a lot of bloopers. But anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this network, because I really did. Yeah, I can't even talk right now. I'm really tired, so before I make any more bloopers, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.